greatest caster of our generation and a fellow teammate of mine, a beloved deadlock champion as well. So it's Monk. How are you, big sir?
Deadlock Champions are certainly a title, but hello everybody, welcome. I'm very happy to be on the OSL casting desk again for season 4, and I'm going to be with you for the rest of the night with Jam, so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I'm a bit of a CatJam boy myself. I played on CatJam for a few seasons, so they're a really strong team. They have a lot of strong players, and you have a lot of the old blood on there with like Mayonnaise, Fizz, Leggy, Gaffy. But you've also got some new talent on CatJam as well, like Tree, Zai, Storm's Light, these fledgling comp players that want to give it the scene a go and really try their best. And, you know, you got the old blood of CatJam helping out the new blood of CatJam, and it's a really nice dynamic. So I'm keen to see how they do here. Now, on the Spirit, this is CatJam's pick. We have Mayonnaise. She's a fantastic Spirit player. She's been playing Spirit for a very long time. I know she's very happy that she's back on Wreckers, and as Spirit is now a tier 2 killer in this current balancing, she does have access to Pain Resonance and doesn't have to worry about perks like Deliverance or Decisive Strike, but we do still have Dead Hard on the board, therefore, when our Tunnel Out does happen, if Dead Hard is able to take that Tunnel Out. But we're just trying to phase around the map at the moment, looking for someone out of position, maybe, and get that early chase rolling, get that ball moving. And taking a look at the build, we have the forced add-ons of the Muddy Sports Cap and the Rusty Flute, as well as just a pretty stock standard build. We've got Eruption, Pain Resonance, and Corrupt with Sloppy Butcher, which is a bit past its glorious days nowadays, but it's still a decent anti-heal option available to all killers. And Blaze with a fantastic stun there, going to be taking the first chase here, and looking at the survival line, we do have our quintessential very quiet survivors. Aurella Rose actually being incredibly quiet as well, as we just go for a cheeky pre-drop, trying to make this first chase of the game last as long as possible, while we're likely maybe doubling Shack if we're trying to play a little bit greedy, or just trying to 3-split the gens, get a lot of gens done early for the set here. Now, average stage for Spirit, we're probably looking like a 7 or 8 stage, I'd say, on Wreckers with current balancing, but Blaze doing a fantastic job pathing here, avoiding the first hit for as long as humanly possible. This might force May to break the path, but no, she is going for a phase pre-injury. We see the Firecracker drop, trying to sort of mask the noise there, but a fantastic read from Maya allows the first hit to come through. That's our first tag there, and this follow-up hit, as that was a short phase, should be coming through any moment now, but we're likely to do see Blaze carrying the part. Oh, Maya buggering up the swing, unfortunately. I think she thought Aurelia was doubling back into the pallet, but she was doubling out of the pallet and into the long wall there, but this will mean the pallet will be dropped, but no, we're gritting it a little bit more. Blaze playing for his life here, the absolute madman, but I don't think he makes pallet here, and that's a fantastic phase there from Mayonnaise.
Yeah, on the contrary, that was quite a great chase from Blaze as well. Didn't even need to go Shack. Connor was able to, I don't know if you noticed this, Monk, was able to wrap around that rock and actually make it back into the map before taking that tag. So delayed that tag for an extra 2 phases as well. And we do see Orlando showing us that we do have the champion a lot at our disposal on these tier 2 sets. Nice little build on Blaze on the hook there as well. I did take a note of that. That was kind of beautiful. I saw her 3/4 of that build and I liked what I saw. And Maya, you know, has her senses going. Can smell someone around here. Can at least sense it. Maybe gonna just check around, see if someone's playing close. Kind of an all-in style of play right now, because maybe should be, you know, sending it across map. We are finally going down deep 6 to look. She's very, very aware that someone's here. This is very good. I don't know, hindsight. Well, not even hindsight, just overall game sense from Maya, who I know is very is beloved by this. Well, how should I say this? Is a Spirit main and does play the Spirit a lot, is just the easiest way to say it. But we do see a line down here, deep 6 as well. And we are stacking a gen. Interesting decision up deep 12. So maybe they're just going to send the def location down deep 12 after Shack Surf Monk, which would be, oh, that would be very, very bad if we're able to get this hook for free, Surf Monk. And we are going to just take the bro off it for free. So no matter what, we should be able to make the Shack in deep 12 after Surf Monk. Taking the pain res though.
Yeah, that Painter is going to affect that deep 12 gen as well, which is huge for Maya, as it means that they can't really afford that death spot anymore. Now, if we're trying to follow Blaze, Blaze is our Dead Hard player as well, so we need to be careful of the Dead Hard. He does have second win if he's able to get a heal there for the next unhook, is a huge boon, but we do see 12 popping anyway, despite the Pain Resonance happening onto it. Maya not quite finding the 12 gen in time there, but we do catch out really here. We're losing our Tunnel Out, which is a big shame, but we do take the tag onto really, and we have 2 injuries on the board as well, someone hanging out on the hook, assuming Orlando is going to be rotating for the save. I'm curious to see if Maya commits, but no, she is going to go back to the hook, seeing if Orlando is rotating for this unhook, and we see no bodies nearby. No, we do find Orlando here, going for the unhook. Everyone is now injured on the board. We take the tag onto Orlando. I am curious to see if she goes to the tunnel out onto Light, or instead if she opts to go for her fresh hooks and secure down onto Orlando to get that pain resonance. And it looks like she's going to be playing around her fresh hooks here, maybe even trying to get a basement, but no, we don't make that pallet there. We instead go for the window, and unfortunately Orlando is down too far away outside of the pallet to get saved, maybe. And this will be a basement hook, which is not what you want at 3 generators here. But we see the resets coming in, and we do have a lot of really strong reset perks available, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the good old 99 tech here. But we do know that Blaze does have, what's it called, solidarity, so this heal should be coming up really quickly, and we see Blaze getting healed there while Enlighten does just work on himself in the corner of the map, have a grand old time by himself as Maze is scouting around. We know Enlighten is around here, sorry, not Enlighten, the other two are around here, so we might get another tag onto Ridley, but no, he's playing a super safe pre-dropping that pallet and is going to be rotating around, just buying as much time as humanly possible. Maya, I would say, might try and get a tag, as we do see Enlighten coming full reset there. We get the tag onto Really, very generous looking, but it's probably fine, and this phase will either come out onto Really, or instead we're going to be using it to go down to the basement. And given that someone just vaulted the window like that, I think we're just going straight down to the basement, maybe going for a body block here, just to try to keep Orlando in the basement. But we do bugger up the body block, which is unfortunate, so we're just going to be taking the attack onto Blaze here. But I think we need to secure a tunnel out at this point, Maya. This is very generous with her spreading out her hooks here, but we do find 2 people over here. We hear Orlando behind us. I think this is Blaze. No, it's really actually, as we do get it down onto another fresh hook, Jams.
Wouldn't have said it better myself, man. And honestly, no, I will double down on your statement. I do. She's playing very, very generous right now. But you know what? She's going punch for punch right now with these young bucks. I can't lie. She's actually playing very, very well, and I'm very, very happy to see that she has at least, you know, put in the effort to put on a good showcase. Because I know she's very capable, and I know she's very has high beliefs of her own abilities, as she should. Because she's a great spirit, as you can see. She's making great decisions. And honestly, to be completely honest with you, the fact that we're at this point in the game and she has, 3 fresh now, that might have actually been her 4th fresh if I'm not mistaken. Regardless though, at this point in the game, having 3 fresh, not really having a tunnel out, that's the major issue of course. But I think it's universally accepted that most of the time Spirit shouldn't 4K. I guess you could argue on this balancing, maybe it's her best chance at being able to 4K. Regardless of that, though, again, let's not take away from how Maya's playing. She's playing amazingly, and the survivors, they're also playing really well as well. Everyone's reset. There's 3 blokes on gens. Really's going to hit second, which is the best case in the scenario for them. And honestly, this is a really, really back and forth matchup, and I'm actually quite intrigued to see what the result. I'm gonna predict maybe, because Maya's predicted a late pull here, and she's going to secure. I'm gonna say maybe 7 is what she's gonna probably end up with here, which is pretty good. Pretty good for the way she approached this game.
Yeah, it's not bad. We do force a second stage onto Really, which is huge, and Shinto having the game sense there to just 3-split the generators, and given the 3 generators, that's really good. We have 2 very high progress generators, Orlando working one of the lower gens, but Maya phasing down here, out away from the hook here. We see 2 very high progress gens nearby. We're looking around to see if we can get a tag, but I think we're just going to apply our eruption onto one of these generators and just phase back the hook. This is assuming that Orlando is wrapping up map to maybe go for the unhook here. We might be able to catch it out, but someone likely would have called the phase, and I don't think we're going to be seeing anybody here, as we do see another gen pop in the background there. No scratches or disturbed crows nearby, so I'm unsure if someone is actually wrapping up, or we're just sort of condemned really to a painful death at the hand scenario and get ourselves to the end game as quick as humanly possible. But no, we see Blaze wrapping up map to get that saved as we do take a chase into the line and try and get this crane pallet out the way. A very powerful pallet in the right hands, and we do go for a bit of a generous swing there by so we're just going to be breaking this pallet and basically right up back to Really with a fantastic last second pull there coming through from Blaze onto Really, and likely rotating down to 6 to try and get a reset there as and Lion is trying to bait Maya away from the actives to chase to someone else. And we do find Orlando failing the stealth here, but this is our sprint best base who's able to get away over to a filler tile, which is great for him. But ooh, dropping it on the correct side of the pallet. Maya, I think, assuming maybe he would have reverse dropped the pallet for a bit of a mind game, but not quite paying off there, as we do still have this 4-lane pallet dropped, which does now chain into that filler pallet. But A bit of warning from Orlando. Really nice pathing from him. Allows him to rotate back over to the pallet, forcing Maya to break it, but this break does zone him back into the map there, forcing him to play around Shaq, which Shaq pallet, I'm pretty sure, is still up. We do see that gen pop as well in the background as a reset comes through onto Really. We find a line stalking nearby. This last gen is super, super high prog, and it's also being worked. When you go for a dry kick there, try and buy us a little bit more time. I think we're unfortunately starting to see the effects of not really getting that talent as early as we maybe would have liked if we just committed to Blaze or Orlando super early in the game, and instead forcing the death onto Really, as he is also, we see on the HUD there, working a completely different generator, and just sort of, you know, making sure we're splitting the generator progress so the Spirit can't just continuously harass one generator and call it a day. Maya is rotating up to this generator though, so we will be able to find Really and get it down and kill onto him. We see him this skill check going through as well. That's going to be minus 10% there, but I don't think this really matters as likely Really's just called that he's being chased, and they're going to go pop that other gen in the background there. His line does get reset there, but Maya doesn't want to chase Really. I think she's realized that if she does chase Really, get the down and kill him, by the time she does all that, the game's going to be over and they're going to be out the door. So we're going to be looking for someone else, maybe like Blaze or Orlando, who've only been hooked once, as they're actually worth more. And we see the last gen pop directly in our face here. We're going to be taking the chase onto Blaze, who is one of the most valuable survivors, I believe. I think she's got all 4 freshers. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jams.
I believe she does.
Yeah, we just missed out on a pain res, but we're going to be taking the chase on the Blaze here, as he does rotate over. This is unfortunate though, this is our dead hard, so if we do hit a really nice dead hard, we could see him get out the gate, but it looks like we're going to be going for a bit of a cheeky little hatch play here, potentially, if we all get out in time, but no, we are just going to be going out towards the doors, and if we hit a nice phase here, we could get the kill, Jams.
No, yeah, it was very unlucky that the M1 came in so late. That's what I was referring to when I muttered under my breath. Yeah, just not able to get that M1 early enough and able to make the gate off that. Very well played from
changes. I think we have a few spirit sets this week already of people considering. I think we saw a tiebreaker yesterday. Well, I know we saw a tiebreaker yesterday because, you know, I was on the team that played it. Synergy versus Omen. We had a spirit tiebreaker there already, and you know that was a great watch, as well as we do see Jake here loading in on spirit, trying to find some. We have a very, very interesting build, I must say, coming through on the spirit. Devour Hope, Pentimento, Ruin. Very curious build. We got a bit of a shaman spirit that the survivors might not be expecting, and if they don't catch on real quick about the amount of totems available, given that Undying is universally banned, if they catch more than 2 totems, they gotta know it's Devour, Ruin, Pentimento, and they need to keep an eye on where those totems are, because you can't get hooked next to a Pentimento. If you get hooked on top of a Pentimento, it's bad news bears. We do find Biz here, starting at the edge map here, which is really unfortunate. We get a nice little free tag there. No Sloppy Butcher, so there's not going to be any healing regressions here as we go for a short base, but Biz doesn't have anything to work with, but I think she might have balanced landing, so hopefully she's able to get away, but oh, she bounced landing down to 6. I don't think Jake really caught onto that. Didn't realize that there was a bounce landing. This is given there's such a wide berth of distance to be able to rotate all the way down to 6. Now we're over to 5. We're able to play around these edge map fillers, but unfortunately she's been cursed with no edge map fillers. As we are going to be seeing the phase come back on the spirit here as we go for the phase. I don't think she quite makes the power. We're playing it super safe, really patient here. I'm not too sure where Fizz is. She does a really good job pacing herself there as we try to go for the M1 down, but Fizz pre-dropping that power on the correct side there, doesn't vault back over as we rotate around. I believe she will be able to make this vault, but no, she will go for a fake. We're just sort of opting to die corner 6, which is huge for us, and honestly, all things considered, with the resources she had available to her, that's a fantastic burst chase there as we see Tree almost ready to pop that burst gem.
Lock Fizz in. That was a ripping chase. Mind you, just want to rewind it back. She got found edge map 3, went 6, had nothing. He just was running around, just horse fillers or horse tails, and just, I don't even think she used the pallet. Like, she used the edge map filler and that was it. So very well played to Fizz. Great to see you performing. Very, very well played. We are going to see the gem pop at 11 as well, and I do believe we saw a Tree just walking off into the distance there. Hopefully she's able to hide. I do think that we caught a glimpse of her. We are going to catch a glimpse of her. Probably going to get a tag out down here, and I do think, my suspicion, Sir Smoke will tell me that I do think that the big man will commit this chase. Yes, he is going to commit down deep 11, where the gen has popped. So if anything, this is quite good for Tree. Does break a, yeah, does Dancer be able to break away all the way to the top of 12 as well? So even more time being wasted now, and that's going to be the second gen of being popped. And now Tree's got him on a leash at the edge map.
There's a huge, we saw Fizz reset in the background there, another gen pop where happy days. There's a fantastic death spot from Tree, using her live and Destiny very well, confused the hell out of Jake down the spirit, and allowed her to go from where we might have died in the bus if we didn't have those perks available to us, and then maybe we saw a pain resonance or something there. Well, no, we don't have pain resonance, I'm talking about. Maybe a more volatile hook sort of in the mid map there, and we were able to just hook sort of like shallow 12, which is a huge change, because that means like, we can just work these 6 generators away from the hook. But we do see Pentimento coming through here. We got 1 stack of Devour as well. We see Ruin is gone, but that Devour is still up, and Jake, he's playing away from his hooks, he's getting those stacks. And as soon as that 3rd token comes in, we see a big meaty thwack from the Spirit. I think it's going to be full panic mode for the survivors, and I don't know how they're going to handle it. We see the 2nd token coming in as Tree is unhooked here, as Jake is just playing for his freshest. I think he's really hard committing, playing around his Devour, which is a really good perk to bring, given that his win condition. A fantastic vault from Storm is just barely making that. We're going to be phasing back up to 12. Hopefully that call's coming in. We might have seen this Devour hook right here as well. So hopefully that totem has been called and we're aware of it. I think we get the reset just barely. We have Pointless taking the hit there, as Tree is going to be, I think, the tunnel out from Jake here, but she's able to make it over to this weird hybrid loop as, no, she just keeps rotating down. She's able to make this path, but hopefully she's able to mind game it. And a fantastic vault from Princess, able to make it all the way down to Shaq, pre-throw that Shaq pallet, hopefully. Thank God we got that pre-throw coming through as we're going to be committing the chase. That's about to come back online. Hopefully we're able to die deep 6, but if we do drop Z6, this is right next to our Pentimento, and we kind of lost it, but a fantastic bit of second guessing phase. We see the Devour getting cleansed just before we get that 3rd token, but that's also going to be the 2nd second Devour of Pentimento, and we're kind of just Pentimento anti at the moment, going for our fresh hooks as we see 3 stages, 3 fresh hooks here, Jams.
I mean, yeah, I believe he's hooked on an active, which is probably a good thing for Jake, but the problem is he's kind of leaving it up for them to come back. That's the issue. He's not sort of making it, putting the pressure on one person. He's letting everyone, you know, sort of have to, as we do, connect on that one there as well. And we are going to commit to Storms. Like, he's sort of spreading the pressure around amongst the team, which, you know, is obviously going to work in his favor if he keeps up the pressure. He's at a good rate right now. We are going to jiggy 1 time from Storms Light, actually being able to last fresh as well, I believe. So I do believe 7 has a lot of progress, and I do believe that maybe 6 has a bit of proggy as well. So we need to die deep 12 and sort of just pump these gens. Pentimento has been gone as well. We are going to jiggy that last phase. That's the 4th fresh going to come in, and that will be the Tycon Met, I believe. Nope, he has 1 more stage before the Tycon.
He's going to get 1 more hook, and then he's got his tie, but all he needs to do kind of is, if he wanted to, he could probably just camp Storms here. We did see Devour go. We're going to see another Pentimento get being lit up here, but we know where it is. It's going to be common nice and early, so hopefully we just maybe see the game is working the last 2 gens. We have deep 6. We have, I think that's 4 down there, as well as Shaq, and maybe, like, I don't know what the other one is. Oh, it's 12. As we rotate over to this generator over here, it is pretty high prog, but hopefully we've done a little bit of a cheeky pre-leave. We're getting a bit of a dry kick. We don't have eruption or anything, so that's not going to do much, but thankfully, I think the CJ survivors have done a cheeky little pre-leave as Jake does rotate over back up to Storms here. Now, he can camp Storms here on the hook, because it does mean we will be able to sort of secure our Tycon that way. We see his arena stealthy here for the savior. I think Tree was trying to move in for that totem there, but unfortunately gets caught out at this sort of hybrid filler. We go for a slow bolt there. Fantastic vault from Tree, able to evade Jake's tag there, but looks like we're rotating back down here, trying to commit to a chase in Storms, which I think is a bit of a mistake, because we see the broken status effect from Storms, which means she's got 2nd win, so she's going to be nice and healthy in just a few seconds. All she needs to do is dodge this phase. Jake kind of needs to hit it, and then he secures his Tycon. He manages to find Storms, but a bit of a jiggy. This allows her to rotate over to Shaq. I think she has enough time for this babysitter to pop here. So the 2nd win to pop here. She does make the vault, which is huge. We don't have our phase coming online. We see the Pentimento getting popped at the back end, so that means the generators are back online at full capacity. Storms Light, I'm hoping to God this 2nd win comes through, but no, it doesn't quite make it through. Might have just been last second. We see a cheeky pick there. Tree, unfortunately, not able to come in for the body block there as we secure our Tycon with this hook, Jumps.
Yeah, and it's actually not a bad result from Jake here. He's actually put himself in a position that Maya sort of tried to do this. I think, yeah, this is definitely what Maya tried to, you know, do in the first place. But, nah, it's good to see that, like, it's not just camp. We've had a set where both killers have sort of ventured out and, you know, it's very... I made this comparison today with another killer player that was playing, I believe, yesterday. Oh, might have been today, actually. Yeah, it was today. It was Revolution on Rebirth. He played a little bit like Mo. It's sort of the Mo play style. He plays realistic, as you would say. He goes for his freshest, spreads out, goes for a tunnel if it presents itself. And honestly, I like to see this. This is a more, maybe not more optimal way. I'll be completely real with you, but it's very, very more viewer enticing, I'll be completely honest, so Smug. Oh, bit of auto aim there on the bus there.
Yeah, a bit of a scam, and unfortunately we do get the double back there onto Tree, which is a shame. But we do secure our W, I think, with this hook. which is fantastic to see. So I think this is the 6th stage now for Fresh, but we do see the last gen getting progress. CatJam here now just playing for best result possible, I do believe. We see Risa coming through onto Storms there, which is huge. I thought that was second win on Storms, but no, it was actually a clean break, which means she would have had to live like 60 seconds or something. But we are going to be splitting the generators, trying to just cross-map our pressure there. We get bind to the high prog gen as well. We see Princess rotating away from there and going down to 6, but I think we're just going to be phasing back up to Hook, trying to get a tunnel onto Triggers. We get a kill here and force a 1v3 really quickly. That'd be huge, but I think we're just going to be sitting gens. We know Fizz is working that 12 gen. It's probably just going to try and pull Tree at the very last minute there as we try and play aggressive for this high prog gen. We're trying to stop that regression coming through. Unfortunately, we're not quite making the regression there as we come through a phase here. Hopefully we missed this, but I think we just heard a slow bolt there. But oh, very nice jiggy from Princess, so she will be able to make that bolt there. But I think this might be a tag, but no, we don't bolt backwards. We do try and take another rotate around. We spin back into Jake. He nearly got away with it too, but we get the tag there. And with this phase, this might spell the end for Zarina here. But we know that 12 gen is getting cranked, but no, we kind of miss our face just a little bit. We go for the pre-throw on the fill tile. We try and fake it back, but oh, he hit the dead hard. Fantastic time buying from Zarina here, as I think with that dead hard hit, Jake's realized he's got to haul us back to that generator down at 4, but little does he know that I dare say that 12 gen's getting doubled, and we know that's deja vu on Fizz as well, so we might be seeing a pop any moment now, and we should be seeing outs here, which, all things considered, is pretty good. Like, we might see 4 outs here if we're able to get Tree nice and healthy and get on a door, but I wouldn't be upset with the result, but we do find Tree here at the edge map. She's going to have to try and live for as long as possible to try and get her team out the door here, which will mean a 3 out. But with this phase of my spell hand, a bit of a short phase is very spicy mind game from Jackie as he tries it again, and Tree does manage to... Oh, he danced with me either way, able to go back down to the door. If there's a hit here, she might be able to get out, but she does just kind of have to play around the edge map a little bit, a bit of a jiggy there. She's able to live for a lot longer. Fantastic chase from Tree. This is buying her team all the time they need to get out the door. She is unfortunately sentenced to death here, but this does mean all 3 of her teammates are out the door there. It is a loss for CatJam, but you can't be mad with this result, I think. You got a really solid result, pretty average result. I think this is 7 stages for Fresh on the board, Jams, if correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I do believe you're correct, big man. And like you said, that is still a pretty good result for both sides. Quite a hard-fought matchup, and I think it's notable to say that a lot of the favor was in CatJam. So Shinto actually being able to prevent
gamer. So I think if he locks in and he plays really well, and his team helps him with a bit of macro there, and he has someone sort of in his ear telling him what to do, I think he'll be able to do really well, depending on how the CatJam lineup play here. Now, looking at the lineup, we do see Tree stepping out in favor of Maya on the Billy set. Otherwise, it is the same. We have Princess, Fizz, Stormlight, and Maya. I don't know who Princess is. I'm going to be so real. I don't know who that is on the Zarina. I thought it would be Fizz on the Zarina, but let me check their lobby, see if I can pinpoint who it might be. I'm not too sure. Is it Mercy? It's Mercy Death. Mercy Death is Princess.
Our lovely, our very own Mercy Death. Also, his very own best referee. I'll say that. No bias,
very
of
good
course.
To see her. But yeah, she did well last game. I didn't realize it was her. She did really well. But unfortunately, not on the purple bubblegum Kate. What the fuck?
So swapping it up a little bit.
Swapping it up a little. I'm so used to seeing Mercy wearing these really bright pink and purple outfits. I know Kata has one that's like it's like a winter outfit, and it's the brightest thing you've ever seen in your life. And she used to run it all the damn time, and she'd stick out like a sore thumb. But instead, running with the punk rock Arena, so much more blending in the skin, but also fashionable. But we're just waiting on the killer on the side of Shinto ready up here. But Jams, you're a bit of a Billy gamer. Do you think couple changes this season? I say couple, there's one change. Dead Hard on Billy is now allowed. Do you think it's gonna sway some things, or do you think a lot of good Billies is just gonna kind of ignore it?
Yeah, so it's funny you did that. That would have been my next point, actually, unironically. So great minds linking up again there. No bias, of course, but no, yeah, I did see the Billy changes. That Dead Hard is now allowed. Look, the simple fact of it is that it's bad for the hillbilly to verse the Dead Hard. You can play around it, but even playing around it is a little bit of a detriment. But I guess we live in a world where Billy is just that good of a killer, and I'm not going to sit there and act like he's not the second or third best killer in the game. And realistically, playing against the Dead Hard is I've seen balances that have MFT allowed, plot twist allowed, all this extra shit kind of that you don't really need, that just kind of stacks it up against the killer, where it kind of induces this no slugging play style where you have to pick every survivor, you have to hook everybody, you know, and it's really, I find that quite boring, to be completely honest. But no, I don't think it'll change too much to be completely honest with you. I think the grand scheme will stay the same. I think good Billies will still punish bad teams, or should I say less more inexperienced teams. But no, yeah, overall not happy, I guess, in terms that it's allowed. But I mean, what can you do, big boy? You win some, you lose some. True.
Yeah, and you know, Billy, one of the strongest killers in the game, is a tier 1 killer for a reason, because he's exceptionally strong and has access to his best add-ons, like in this team. So we find Scratched on both, basically straight off rep. We do find Fizz right here, right now. We're about to get Blue Saw almost immediately too. I don't know if you caught that while we're loading in, but Jake here is a P100 Billy. So Shinto's Billy knows what he's doing, but Fizz also knows what she's doing. She's doing a fantastic job playing around these. Does fantastic curve off the rip, getting a nice quick down onto Fizz here, trying to go for the pick up nice and quick. Now Billy here does have Ruin and Wretched Fate with Eruption. So a couple of really interesting perks and a lot of parts of no bam on the Billy. Could be fair, not many what's it called, windows on the Blood Lodge, to be fair. So no bam on the Billy. We're going full regression slowdown, opting out that bamboozle slot instead for Wretched Fate, which when that first gen pops, Maya will be hit in the face with a 35% slowdown for all her air gens. So that sucks because she's also the no-meta player.
I mean, yeah, it was a bit of a bad position to get caught out by Fizz. She did get down in the mid map too, so he's able to just drag in the mid and sit here in the mid. And honestly, he hasn't really chose to go anywhere and pressure anybody, which is quite interesting. He's sort of just sitting in front of Luke, which is not how down how early the down was. We are getting 50 on Mercy's gen. We do have 50 on about Maya's as well, and I think Storms will just be camping out for the pool right about now, which is a bit unfortunate that we've guessed that he was going to pressure a little bit. I mean, maybe we're just pre-stealthing a little bit early, but I don't know. Triple splitting in this instant wouldn't be the worst scenario, but you know, he's going to secure, as you said, the P100 Billy himself. I did not actually expect that. A lot of discussions actually in Little Chief's chat, who was the second best Billy in OCE. Obviously, the first being considered Gibbsy by a lot of people actually. Seeing if he could find a stealth there. We are pulling very early, so maybe he might be able to make a name for himself on the Hillbilly actually. And we are going to get another nice little flick around onto Storm's Light now, and I'm assuming that's going to be a slug, and we're going to get this chase straight going onto Big Fizz.
Yeah, Fizz not in a great spot here. This is not a tile that you want to be against the Billy yet. It's very long, kind of easy to curve around, and she's got a tree and a hope and a dream, but I think we're just going to have to take a sledgehammer to the back of the skull here at the edge map with hopefully maybe a pickup coming through onto Storm's Light, which we do see there. So thankfully, all three survivors are no one on the hook yet, but that thankfully did secure Storm's Light Deliverance play. Very early pull. As you said, but I think if you left it any later, it would have just been, you know, Hillbilly kissing him on the hook, and better to pull than not pull, I suppose. I think maybe the better play there, considering that Jake was just sort of playing, you know, got that super early down and was playing super defensively. I think the best play there was sort of greeting and just lurking for that deliverance play was instead just go, okay, just commit to the fact that Fizz is going to die on hook here. Start working gens, you know? Start working gens on that top side of the map and just get cranking the motors. Because if we just let Fizz die on that hook, we'd probably be at 2 gens now, with a dead person and not 3. Granted, we wouldn't have that deliverance, but I think having a gen gone is better than having a deliverance in the pocket. And we also just have like a nice little net of gens here just to soar around. We have our blue saw, our purple boots and eerie engravings. You find some bleeding scratch marks here. I think all chases are just going to have to go down the shack. You find Mayonnaise, who is afflicted with Wretched Fate, so if anyone's going to get chased, this is probably the best person to get chased. We unfortunately do drop super early there, but I think we should be able to make it. Oh, Cracker Blind! Fantastic play from Maya. We weren't able to hear that due to a bug, which is a shame, but pre-throwing that power, I'm hoping this is maybe our live as well if we do have exhaustions and she's able to get around, but instead we are going to be going to the top of the crane here, trying to bait Maya down. She does drop early. Doesn't stay up there for too long. I believe she does still have a power nearby. I do wonder if she's going to greet it, which she does, but unfortunately the curve's not quite coming through for Jake as she does rotate around back to the power, but I think Jake just realizing that chasing this is probably a bad idea, and he's just going to drop that chase and leave and go interrupt the generators. He does still have his ruin up, so this would be a fantastic bit of regression here. We also have a totem up here. We find Storm's Light out of position here. All she has is a rock here. She's on the roller too, but with a well-timed curve, we should get this down next to an active gem, which is not what you want until the survivors in this situation. And a very last-minute curve there. Fantastic work from Jake.
Yeah, I hate those ones as the Billy. Those little media, you know, the short tiles where you have to like
they can sort of just keep looping you, and you have to sort of back everything, but it's loopable. Bloody hate those ones. I can't lie, but no, I'll be real. That was quite, like you said. I could not agree with. I couldn't not agree with anything that you said just there. That was quite well said from you. Yeah, I think maybe just admitting defeat early with the hook in terms of letting Fizz maybe. I don't know, we still have beautiful play there onto Mercy from Jake. A little bit of a no-no. Winning that 50-50 on the side. But as I was saying, maybe just this is obviously like you said earlier in the trial. It's a tier 1 set. So we do have Unbreakable at our disposal. Can easily just let Fizz sit on that hook and send Unbreakable in the last second. And, at that point, it gets a bit scary because you have to hope that if he does leave the hook on that second state, you have to hope that the bro lasts in chase. The bro who he does, if he does, assuming he finds somebody. But we are going to find Storm's Light here playing this mid 12 tile. Not a bad flick attempt there from the big Jake. He doesn't look down on the corners, which is very interesting. He looks up, so Take does it plays the tile a bit differently. Gonna go for around the tide again. Gets a bit unlucky on the side there. Bit unlucky. Peepo corner, but not going to play this filler. Just going to choose to break it real nice and easy. And no, good on the bro for being a really touched up Billy. Tapped up Billy, I should say.
Yeah, but good chase there from Storms as well. Like, you're playing on that filler against a Billy, you're sort of expecting just to get curved, but she was able to live for quite a surprising amount of time, allowing Maya to rotate up and get the palm onto Fizz. Onto Mercy. As we do find Maya lurking nearby as well. Wretched Fate still hops, so if she was working on Jen, it's probably not that much done. We don't find any blood or anything, as we do have... Oh, dearie me. Maya getting caught in the corner a little bit there, stubbing her toe, and then getting a chainsaw on the back. That's a hell of a combo, as we do get our last fresh hook, I believe. So, honestly, if we find Mercy and Storms, we could probably make it a slugging match, as we don't need to worry about any bleed-outs afterwards, and just try and play with this 4K2. And at this point in time, it probably is going to be a 4K2 if the survivors don't get their act together really quick. They could try and just get that CatJam done and call a 4K1, and you sort of put your Billy play in a bit of a situation where, like, it's a much easier Tycon to meet the 4K1 on the Billy. And, you can play around that Tycon, take it to Nurse and see if you can take that and then just call it a draw if they win. Because, of course, we don't replay sets anymore. So if we tie Billy and then move on to Nurse and CatJam win it, it's a tie. It's a 1-1 tie. But we do leave the saw here. I can't quite see what's happening because of the fire. But we do find this is Storm's working the generator down by the Shack here. We do still have the Shack pallet likely coming in with a pre-throw, forcing Jake to break that path there. We're going to be rotating away to the rocks here. I'm curious to see if he can miss the strays or if he rotates up map, because I would expect Mercy and Fizz to just find a jam and double it as soon as humanly possible to try and get this 4K1. And unfortunately, Jake not quite able to hit that sword there. Storm's getting a stun as well. She's playing fantastically with the set, I might say, if I do say so myself. She's doing a great job and doing a great enough job that's forcing Jake to just drop this chase and go back to his jams.
Yeah, I mean, the no bam I thought might cost him just a tiny little bit, but no, he's very, very, he seems to know, he's very comfortable not having to, play around windows, or sorry, he is comfortable playing around the windows, I should say, with the sword. But yeah, no, I would say for the most part, they're playing it for everyone, as well as they can. Letting Fizz die that early kind of was a bit of a problem. As I said, that's sort of what we were talking about before, maybe the unbreak trade last second. We're sort of at a point in the game now where you have to play a 3v1, and I believe it was at 3 gens before. We've cracked it down to 2. We do have decent pressure on a couple of gens, and, Main being one of the gens with runes still up, Wretched Fate, Maya is on one of those gens, so as long as he chases Storm or Mercy at this point, it doesn't really go wrong for him. Minimum 4K1, I think. He needs to get it down now and probably just walk the bro down instead of, chainsawing in the open with no fillers. But no, I think it's going to be the down to Storm's Light. I don't think she has a filler over here, or he or she. I do believe it's a she. Dying Edge 5, very, very good death location, actually. Very, very good. That's something to note. And honestly, overall, the performance from, like I said, the 3v1 on CatJam has been notable. I can say that. And I do believe we will see a gen pop here. Maybe. We should.
We do see Maya working that generation. She's still afflicted with Wretched Fate. Granted, she does have resilience. As I've been told, that does bring it down to the 24% slowdown from the 35% due to the resilience buff. But we do find Maya caught out here on the long wall. I don't think she has much to work with here. So I dare say if Jake just commits to an M1 here, she's toast. She's cooked. And I think you just got to resign to the fact that Mercy has to try and get a gen done there, as we do have a little bit of a lag spike here. I don't know if this comes through on stream or not, but going to be trying for a sword that unfortunately running into some ties there lying around. Who put those there, buddy? As I'm trying to catch up to Maya, hopefully, but we do rotate down to the mid map here. We do find Mercy. I keep assuming it's Fizz because they're playing Zarina, but we do find Mercy here. She does have life. She's able to rotate back down to the Shack side of the map here, but thankfully, she doesn't make it out, which does mean it puts Jake in a bit of a precarious spot where he's sort of bouncing back and forth, trying to interrupt these gens, and thankfully he does ruin up, so he is able to do that pretty comfortably without having to worry about kicking the gens or anything. But I think if this Chase and Mayo lasts long enough, we are able to make it that 4K1, and hopefully Zai can clutch up for his team and get the Billy set up for a tie. But we do take the chase onto Maya here. If we just give it to an M1, we should be able to make it, but she does make this fast fold here, thankfully, with Wersy. No bamboozle on the young Billy, so we're going to have to take our sword and go back to main building. That call coming through from Maya. Hopefully we do see Mercy Death taking her lead, but no, we actually popped the gen in her face. This might even be a 4K0 with the missed. Oh, excuse me. There's a sniper on the roof of the Blood Lodge. What can I say? There's a sniper. We got shooters on the roof of the Blood Lodge as we do get that down. Very generous down onto Mercy Death, which if it didn't happen might have actually been a 4K0, all things considered. May might have been able to pop that gen, but we are just going to be taking it down edge map here as we do resign ourselves to this 4K1 result. Jumps. Pretty good result for the Billy, all things considered. Unfortunately, missing the dead hard. Jake's very happy with his result here.
Yes, he's very, very pleased with himself, as he should be. That was quite a good result on the hill, but we do see Unbreakable in the background. So the game is not just over just yet. I mean, it pretty much is, locked in. We're hiding very close. We do not have a headset that is over the value of $150 apparently. So yeah, the speaker probably didn't come through on that set, but we are going to get the pull. We does notice that some tomfoolery is going on in the background, and I'm not too sure what the play is here from CatJam, but regardless, assuming it's a 4K1, not a bad result for Shinto survivors to match us. Like, as on Synergy, we play a lot of Billy, and popping 5 gens on Billy is very doable with a good first chase, even just a good chase throughout any aspect of the game. So hopefully Shinto come locked. They do have some juices on their team. I know Orlando and Evan in particular are both very, very good survivors. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they can match the 4K1 overall, or maybe even 4K0. We are going to get it down on Samir. They're lovely flick around the backside, but yeah, the 4K0 should be the win con. It is the DS coming through, so if this gen does pop, though, I would look like a big fool. Can we actually just peep and make sure that gen isn't going to pop in the background? Yeah, even Big Jake is a bit scared of it popping. I think I am too. What is it at anything? It's not that high.
Nah, it's regressed a good bit. I think it's due to Ruin still being active, so the entire debacle down at the 6th side of the map was just kind of spent in vain with that gen regressing in the background. But it looks like Mayo is trying to try. Like I said, CJ, the best thing they can do, they're clutch masters of the survivor, right? That they're really good at making the best of a bad situation, and they're showing that here with able to Mercy able to stealth for a pull there. And you made the joke about the headphones. I do believe Mercy does have iron weld, so wouldn't have been making any noise. So no way for Billy to know that she was there, other than if he has walls. But we do rotate over this generator. We are concerned about the gens. We find some lingering blood here. We find Mercy to the cheeky medium bolt, but thankfully we do have Light able to get us to hopefully a resource. But I think this side of the map is looking like my mate's stepdad, who is bold as hell, as we do find a bit of a filler here, but a nice redirect with that saw from Jake, catching out Mercy Death in the open there. Unbreakable already spent, we know that for a fact, but we are able to sort of recover a little bit faster. We have Dead Hard available for Maya to try and buy some time. No blood being left, thank you to no Nether, as well as a bit of a noise reduction, so it might be a bit harder to find her. I am curious to see if Jake does, we're about to find Maya, I think. We just checked that crane filler, but no, we don't hear her over the sound of the saws wailing as she does stealth around the crane just a little bit more. I am curious to see if she rotates over to pick up Mercy Death, or if she just resigns herself to trying to pop this generator, as we do see Billy going back to pick up the slug. We'll just check on the slug, make sure, she's not being attended to by Maya. But a bit of a tough situation here from CatJam, but we do take the hook onto Mercy Death, which is curious. I'm surprised that we're just not playing for the slug game.
Yeah, I think it's worthy to note that if Maya does somehow get out of this situation, which I think the chances of that are very low, but if she does manage to get a door or a hatch here, it's only worth 1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll still have to, Shinto will still have to pop all gens to win, and I believe CatJam will only need to 4K1 to win. So that's on the pretense if Maya does escape, which is a very low possibility, but I thought it was worth mentioning in case she does pull off this generational stealth, which it seems like she's done through 3/4 of this game, and if she's able to do it for the rest, then I don't know, bro. I don't know if she'll be able to get hatch. I don't think Jake's that that's silly. But she's going deep looking for one now. She can even just pull this, maybe. She is going to pull this and delaying this game even a little bit longer, which I would argue is very, very interesting, is the word I'll use.
I mean, you got to do the best you can, because, like, CJ are a very determined and resilient group of gamers, right? Like, if there's a chance for them to pop the gen, they'll try it. Like, Ruin being up and Ruin just being at the second story of that Blood Lodge main building is definitely kicking them in the teeth. If they're able to pop that a little bit earlier, it would be huge for them, because then all of this generator progress would, it wouldn't have been regressing naturally. But we do get rid of, I'm assuming, Ruin there, but I also would have notified our Big Billy that someone's in the main building as he hauls us over to there. That was unfortunately Wretched Fate, not Ruin. Which sucks a lot, but it does mean Maya is able to do those gens just a little bit faster, so if we are able to commit to a generator, that'd be huge. But I dare say Maya is probably playing around a hatch play potentially here, but I don't think Jack's going to take the hook on the death of Survival. I think we're just going to be seeing a slug and then a look for the stealthing Maya, as we do unfortunately hit our saw on a little bit of hard air there, which is really unfortunate, but thankfully Mercy is able to make it over to the main building window. Hopefully maybe a saw coming through here, but no, missing the sword there, as Mercy just does make the best of a bad situation. Hopefully Maya is cranking a motor in the background, because Mercy Death is having a generational chest. We are working a generator in the background here, but with that power broken, I believe this is it. This is the end. There's nothing available to us. We only have some rocks, some trees, some tires, and our hopes and dreams, as we do have a sledgehammer impacting the back of our skull, which is really unfortunate. No one working that generator, and I think Jake is fully aware of the exact generator Maya is doing, as we do go for the select there, as Maya does get off the generator and tries to self, but I think it'll be all in vain. And Jake even just having the intuition to try and go edge map to see if we are lurking edge, but no, Maya actually steals further into the map, which is actually a really smart play, because a lot of killers, they check the edge maps trying to see if someone's surviving, but stealthing at the edge map. But no, we just went into the map and hiding behind a dumpster here, a car.
I am in love with the way Maya's playing this set. She's making it like she's stealthing how better than any of my normal teammates would stealth on a survivor set when you needed a good win con. But that's definitely something that I love to see. She's very, very playing well, and honestly, the 1-2 with Mercy that they've done in the last couple minutes of this game has been really beautiful to watch. Quite generational, but I think Jake has that little bit too much pressure in the game where, it's going to be a bit hard to come back from what has already happened. And yeah, the Wretched Fate being cleansed as well was quite unlucky, not getting that ruin. And so this whole time, this gen has been regressing, so the chances every time that he comes back is slimmed down over and over, but I think they're just going to play for the hatch play, maybe a gate play, which wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, maybe a little trauma coming in. I know maybe big Bob in the VC screaming, do the trauma. Big Ben in the VC. So we'll see how it goes. Overall, not too bad from the bros. At Shinto though. They played very, very well. Jake, I should say, played very, very well, proving why he's that P100 Billy. And to be fair, as their first killer performance in OSL, I'm very impressed. So shout out to Jake. I think he goes by Art, but I'm just gonna call you Jake if that's alright, bro.
Yeah, Jake doing a fantastic job here, and honestly, I went against Jake and their partner in pubs, I'm pretty sure, and they kicked my ass in Gila. They were really, really good. So I'm surprised that we didn't see him on the Survivor, honestly, because I think he's fantastic at Survivor. So I'm quite surprised that he's not on the Surf sets. But that's alright, because clearly he's cracked at the killers as well. Because we are checking the basement here. I dare say we will see the trauma coming through onto Mercy Death, unless we see a bleed out and just a hatch. But I think Jake expecting the bleed out and not the trauma tech is just going to be lurking nearby. Maybe his teammates in his ear having a bit of a gamble at him, like, hey, by the way, trauma tech. But I'm curious to see what they do with the trauma, because it means Mercy Death has to play aggressively away from the hatch, and then Maya has to just stealth towards the hatch, and we are going
for the trauma, buller.
Oh, for the trauma tech. Come on, CatJam, you can do it!
Now he's put in an awkward position though. Now Mercy can just go literally run and go sit on the 1-gen, and now Maya's just gonna do what she's been doing the entirety of this game, which is stealthing like a generational player. And honestly, I'm surprised Jake's committing all the way over for this, bro. He's anxious. He realizes now.
Figured it out.
This is gonna be 4K 0 so Monk with if this goes right.
If this goes right and Maya's been doing the amazing stuff she's been doing, this is going to be a 4K 0 for CatJam, because Messa's just able to sim 1 forever. But, She's not afflicted by any slowdowns or anything. She's just 90 seconds of Maya stealth. Oh no, we do find May here in the middle of the map, which is really unfortunate. I dare say we're getting it down, but no, unfortunately we do hit nothing there. I think the best thing you can do is maybe have Mercy Death come in, take a hit. She dies, and then the hatch opens, but this requires her to basically cross map while the chase is happening at the Philitol. But if Jake keeps missing these swords, we will be able to see Mercy rotate back down here as we do see the live coming through. That's exactly what's happening. She's going to be trying to take a hit here for Maya to try and get her down to the shack as Mercy's trying her best to take a hit, but Jake, generation, we've got a doctor from BBU here, as we do see. We're not taking it though. We don't want to do it. We don't want to take the hit here, and with a bit of BL here as well. Oh, this is a bit of a tough situation here for Jake and CatJam. They have to play this perfectly, and we've got to try and bait Jake into a swing onto May, and then somehow clock Mercy in the head. Oh, not quite swing, but maybe a little bit of a cheeky vault, and then a misdemeanor from Jake. I don't know how you play this. We need to try and bait a hit onto Maya, and then accidentally clock Mercy Death in the head. She dies, and we get hatched somehow, but it's a bit messy, Jams. It's looking really bad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We do see Maya definitely getting mind gamed at the back there. Not bad.
Crawl,
for CatJam there. Yeah, we do have to crawl. If he just picks though, is he not out of danger's way?
Yeah, if he picks,
she's not dead.
She is dead. I think they're all
is
dead.
She?
I'm pretty sure they're all death.
I'm about to find out, but regardless, though, I think Jake needs to get one more prop, so I can't lie. No, she is dead. You're exactly right. My bad. That was a bit of a my bad, but that would have been generational if they were able to pull something off like that. So, Smike, I can't lie. That would have been amazing to watch. But unlucky. Yeah, Maya and Mercer not being able to perform the greatness there. That would have definitely made some sort of DVD comp video. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show how resilient CatJam are in terms of like how they play their sets. And notoriously CatJam are very, very good at dredge. That's sort of like what made their name is the dredge set, the ominous dredge set, because their survives, dude. Their survives are tough nuts to crack on that dredge set. It's hard to find them at the start of the game. They're fantastic stealthy. They know exactly where to stand at the start of the game. They know where they're running. They know how to connect all the tiles together. They know mid-witch like the back of their hand, and there ain't a weak link on that team doing that. But with Billy's mobility here, I think Mr. just going to have to try and play around, just getting the door to just before it hits that one little red light. And then as soon as Billy leaves, turns around and goes leave, just go back on that door straight away. But, we nearly had it, but unfortunately, no, not quite. Getting the commit there. We do have life here, but I don't think it makes anything as Mercy Jets does go for the fake join for a last gasp of a chase here as this very, very long Billy set finally comes to its end as Jake has just realized you can kind of just stand here and kill her with the end game, but I don't think we really need to do that because we can kind of just bloodlust her at the shack, force the window blocker, and then down her, and then she dies literally at our feet. So we're going to be taking another live, I think that was, as we could take a second bolt there at the window, chasing around the shack here to the best of our ability. Jake Garner just trying to make sure she doesn't somehow sneak away to the door open and get out, but I don't think she has enough progress for him to be able to do that. So just kind of say, we're playing a super set. Jake doesn't want any funny business. He wants his 4K1, and he wants it now. And he wants it right now, and he doesn't want any problems with it.
I mean, this goes to what you were saying before, how CatJam are very, very resilient. They definitely are. They're one of the more, teams that, if they are having a bad result, you can expect them to do really well on the follow-up sets. We are going to catch Mercy out finally. Bit of nodders from the bro, bit of slaps to the diddle. So GG's to CatJam and GG's to Shinto during that Billy set. That was really good to watch. We got to watch Zolix Billy come up after that, but in the season before, so I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, this is their very first tournament together. So, no, very, very impressive. And Jake had a great performance as well, big fella. Like, good on you, big fella. Never really spoke to you, big fella, but I'm assuming you're watching stream. That was a very good performance. You just, 4K'd a very, very strong team, big fella, so you should be proud. But regardless, we'll go on to the next set, big fella. Or not even the next set, but we'll go on to the killer performance on the side of CatJam, Big Zylik. Now, one thing I will say, he does have... I think he's Mr. Hot Takes himself, Big Zylik. So I'm interested to see what build he's going to be running. I'm assuming some sort of very, it's very standard, to be fair. It's quite standard.
Yeah,
this is a build I'd run, to be fair.
Yeah, Zylik also on the roll. Also, if you see some weird camera movements, he is on the PlayStation, so we do find someone basically immediately as well. So similar start, but unfortunately, we do elude us. We find someone else. I think is that Dwight that's really there on the Mr. Dwight Fairfield. So if we're able to get a quick down here, that'd be huge for Zylik. We can kind of match that tempo that that catch that what's this thing called? Shinto survives. Shinto's killer was able to put up last game. That'd be huge for him. But we do take the BAM result here. The BAM ball here as we take the chase onto Really. And as I said, these Shinto games are really strong mechanical survivors. So they know their timings. A fantastic stun there from Really. Able to buy him a ton of distance. They're able to back over to a filler here. As he just sort of camps the pallet here. He's not really letting Zylik sort of give him any room there. He's not giving him pallet control to allow for a curve or anything of that nature. So we do try and roll around the tires here. Hopefully this will be a little bit of a saw, but not quite able to just do it there as we don't turn around quite fast enough, and we just give Really the power as we do take a break for it. I'm curious to see if he just rotates away, and he is going to be rotating away there. We don't see the ruin there, so no unnatural regression generators here. This is a really strong window too, as we see two gamers coming through there, so we're going to be applying our option to the main generator there, as they were both doubling and trying to get it done early, so it's good that Zylik was able to find the interrupt there. We do find Blaze as well on the No Mythos Claudette here, so we're able to get that as our tunnel out. That'd be huge. This is probably our dead art player as well, so hopefully Zylik is able to figure that one out, but unfortunately running into a tree, they're not able to hit the saw, but still trying to get the blue saw. We do finally get the blue saw there. We rotate away, going for a chase into somewhere else here. We duck into the generator, able to dodge that that blue saw there. It's still blocked with BAM, but I believe it should be expiring like right about now, but I don't think it really realized, unfortunately, as he does go up top. This is probably our bounce landing. He's feeling really confident about himself, and I dare say that is our bounce landing play, as he does miss another sword there, giving Really the window as well. This is a really good window for him to work with here, as he continues to chase on over to a Godfiller here. He rotates left to try and dodge that saw, as Zylik goes to go up to his generators, but he still has crop there, as we do see a gem pop in the background, and honestly, not looking great for Zylik at this point in time.
No, being run for the first blue saw with the gem popping is not the best thing to start off with, but I think he's trying to catch someone out of position and might have to just double down on himself and commit a chase here, which I think he's going to. No, he still opts back to try and cut off this mid-gen. He doesn't want mid to pop here, which is probably a very good decision, but at some point he needs to just admit to himself that he's going to lose every other gen around main if he keeps doing this, so he sort of needs to commit now. Yeah, as I said, getting run for the first blue saw, probably not the best case scenario. But you know, he's like you said, he's on controller, and I couldn't imagine Bearing playing controller on Hillbilly, and the fact that he does as well as he does on controller as it is, it needs to be credited already, bro. Like he's a good Billy on the controller, man, for what it is, if not the best. But rough first start for him. Good first down though. We do get it down, and we're able to drag mid.
Yeah, we do see two gems pop for that chaser, which is really unfortunate. Ideally, I'm probably get a really quick down, but we ate a lot of resources as well. A lot of powers have been munched, and also outside of those two gems, not really any other gem progress. As we see an exceptionally early pull on the side of Shinto. I don't know about that one, gamers, as we do take the chase into Saga here, and who is enlightened, as we don't really bother. Oh, we're going for a bit of a crash check, but Zylik being really patient with it, expecting the crash check.
Holy moly.
Okay, we've switched to the Spirit for a second there. I think Mum's kicking the Ethernet cord. But that's alright. We take the chase back onto line as we head on over to this car filler here. Something a little bit easier to curve around. Online does go wide a little bit early, but he swings back in, able to dodge the sword there. Very nice from Enlightened, as we see our No Mither player, Blaze, trying to take the hit there for Enlightened. We get the sword as well, so this is going to be a hook for Blaze. I think we took that down specifically because Enlightened might be our Deli player, and we don't have Deli active. That's the only reason I could see that coming through, unless we just want to Blaze on the hook because he could be potential tunnel around. But we see another gen popping in the background. I believe that was the main building generator here. Now our gens are very split. We have main building here. We have Babysitter trying to get charged there on Orlando, but I think Orlando just kind of told really to bugger off. I don't care about your second win. I'm hearing myself. As Zylik tries to check on his gen. See, there's not really much gen progress working there as he heads back to hook, trying to find someone for trying to snipe the save there. We see Orlando getting reset in the background there. Heading over to this hill gen, which I believe is the only one being reset. There are some scratches here. This is really who's our balance standing player. And honestly, for the balance standing player, he's got a lot of options this game. That's a really nice hill gen for him to be working there as the balance standing player. Buys him a lot of distance and time when he does not want to work it anymore, which is huge. And Zylik, I need to play a little more defensively here for Blaze's hook here. He probably understands this is a dead hard player and just wants to force him second stage and then tunnel him out later. We nearly catch a really out of position here, but we do give him the God Bust as well. He would take chase onto really. We see the full time switch from Blaze. Unfortunately, this does mean that he's able to get away scot-free, as we're not going for the tunnel out to Blaze as he rotates over the main building. We're looking for whoever just got the arm hook, which is Mr. Enlightened himself. Unfortunately, missing another sword there from Zylik. He's going to be rotating with BAM, trying to catch Enlightened off guard. I believe this path's already been used, so all we need to do is hit one saw. We nearly got blue saw too, which is huge. We try and go over the curve, not finding anyone there, which is really unfortunate as the line is able to rush it all the way over to the bus, which still has its powers up. And Jams, it's looking pretty grim for TJ's prospects of a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to look like probably a 2-0 to CatJam at this rate, which is very unfortunate because the effort they put in on the Billy. I mean, I'm not going to say that as Alex not putting in the effort, but Shinto was just really, really making this difficult for Zylik right now, and he's missed a couple easy back revs. And to be completely honest, Shinto are just sort of, you know, they're not stressing right now. They've probably got the comms on high, the morale's a bit high, you know. I've got him, boys, I've got him probably coming through on the headset, but trying to go for a nice S-flick around the pallet there. We're just staring at him, really, just giving him a geese. And, you know, these gens are high, and I can only imagine that Zylik's heart is probably, you know, just in a million pieces. And I mean that with the most respect possible, because it must be very, very, you know, tough to come out and, you know, have a good chance to get the win con, but, you know, not really have the, you know, it's not going well for him. This is all I'm trying to say.
No. Is this Zylik's debut game? I think this is his first like real comp game, right? Like I think it was maybe in the Young Guns League, but outside of that, I'm pretty sure this is his first ever like comp game. So very much high stakes here. He does believe that this is the dead hard here. Very nice patience from Blaze there. Unfortunately, not quite coming in as Zylik has even more patience and waited for the dead hard animation to come through. We get that cheeky little pick there as we do expedite Blaze's death here. I don't believe he's dead on hook, but we do get an eruption there as we try and hook in the middle of our 3 generators here. And I think the play is just to play around this hook here and just go back and forth between our generators. Hopefully we're able to make it to that gen with pop, I say, as it's popped as he gets the which is really unfortunate here. Shinto will be taking the set 2-0, which is unfortunate, but honestly, not a bad showing from CatJam, all things considered.
No, not at all. No, they played very well, and there should be someone that should be very, very trifled within Group B, I believe, there in this season. They're definitely a good team, and I believe Shinto will need a lot of competition to fight them down as well, because if this is things to come, they should be clear, easy top of that table. Unfortunately for Zylik, we're showing up a little bit late to the party, but that was a beautiful bloody flick around that tile there. We do see a block on the gate as well. We've almost pissed on, but we've almost pinched him off the gate there. We are going to go for a flick around there. We are going to live somehow is Orlando, and a bit of shambles here in the end game, Big Smoke.
Shinto kind of just getting surprised, but unfortunately that really nice flick there onto really is not being followed up by anything. Unfortunately, as we do get ran for quite some time. Oh dear, the FOV tech coming through onto poor Zylik on the roller. We do see really getting picked up in the background as Orlando heads over to Shaq. We take the power, but I think he's just screaming at his team, get out, I need hatch, but no, we do get down, and this is a basement hook as well. I think Orlando is fresh, correct me if I'm wrong, so I think this brings us up to 6-3 fresh, which all things considered, not the... I mean, do you think Billy should be 4 game?
Yes. I mean, with Dead Hard, probably not these days. It's like, no matter how you look at it, it's still a chase extender. And if a Billy does find themselves in that position, where he does have to tunnel out Dead Hard, you know, it's... That's why when we did the poll during,